Hello and welcome to this week's episode. Totally Oblivious. I'm your host. I'm Caleb.
The guy who doesn't get a sandwich with his get a drink with his sandwich. I fucking stepped over my words. I did. Never mind, bro. The roast isn't effective.
I literally drank it on camera before you said that too, so I know it's just a double stupid on your part.
I wasn't even looking at you. All I heard was the part. I was like, oh, someone didn't have a liquid with his bread.
Alex, how are you doing? Other than Super Earth is literally in shambles.
They killed the president, bro. I didn't expect that today.
It killed the president of Super Earth.
They killed apparently he went down fighting. Should I read the official news?
Yes. Is this our news?
This is our news. Okay, real life news. Apparently, federally, a bunch of judges stopped a whole bunch of the tariffs in terms of American politics. So that's all you'll really get in terms of that here on the channel.
Yeah, there's really nothing else going on.
Yeah, but in terms of Helldivers, community lore, because me and Caleb were fucking engrossed in it. Yeah, they killed the president about an hour ago, and he went down swinging.
He went down in a blaze of glory.
I'm gonna read Coretta Kelly's news report. President KIA, the president of Super Earth, has been killed in action by the Illuminate during the siege of Prosperity City. The president died heroically, defending the presidential security bunker with only a pistol against a wave of Illuminate foes. The presidential authority has been placed in the Ministry of Defense, which crazy, bro, crazy.
Mom, turn on the TV. They killed the president of Super Earth.
At least he went out fucking fighting, though. Gotta give it to him. Got to give it to him.
That's my president.
That's that for real, bro. That's my president. For real, for real.
Moment of solidarity for the president of Super Earth. Doing the wrong salute.
Oh. I was sorry. That was my American code.
There we go.
I can't do it anymore. I'm shocked they don't have a what's it salute in Helldivers.
They just have hat tip.
Yeah. Oh, I guess they do have hat tip. My real salute is at ease. Oh my god, wait, there's news. Motherfucker, it's just an ad. But I'm over here. Yeah, there's nothing too crazy going on. We thought we'd play Helldivers today. Get immersed into the lore. I've actually been low key as I've been playing Helldivers, like documenting the fights. Or documenting like some of my encounters, like it's like World War II, like here's the Battle of Stalingrad type shit. I have multiple pictures of Leviathans down, napalm strikes on city centers. Like I have all of it. Like it's like. If there was ever like a need for it, but everybody is recording their gameplay, it's like there for it. Maybe I'll turn it black and white, give it a little bit of grain or something for the for the effect. Be like
Super Earth colorized.
It wouldn't be colorized. It would be black and white. Maybe in like the picture description, was made in black and white for dramatic purposes.
No, you gotta have it in color to have it say colorized.
No. What you can do, you can probably, I think in Photoshop, I could probably do the colorized thing, but it's like they actually colored it in. I think I could do that. I don't know how I would, but I think it's like just dulling the colors and the shadows. I think I could do that. That would be funny.
Take away the color just to color in the color manually.
Real, bro. This is what real memers do.
Yes.
This is real meme hour.
It's beautiful. What is happening? Anyway,
sometimes you look really good, and other times you don't.
Yeah,
on the camera side.
I think that Super Earth is pretty much the only news.
Yes, for the most part.
Has it? I don't. It really has. May has been the driest month for things going on. There's literally nothing other than Helldivers news.
Yeah, basically. Apparently, there was also 13 seconds ago. Oh fuck! Wait a minute. There's more news, Caleb. 13
There's
seconds ago.
news? There's
Uh,
news?
Illuminate nearly defeated. The Illuminate are taking heavy losses. Intel reports that their fleet strength is rapidly dwindling. They will soon be forced to abandon the assault. These these are the battle's final. This is the battle's final hours. The enemy will push with the entirety of the rest of their strength. Hold the line. So apparently, this is like the final day, bro.
Wow.
I guess
We're
yeah,
doing it.
we're doing it, bro. This
Um,
is crazy.
for a split second, I thought you were actually gonna read like real news.
Fuck real news, bro.
I
I
was
love
like,
Helldivers.
oh man, we actually have real news. More Helldivers. Yep,
Yeah,
that's about expected.
so the motherfuckers in Stockholm. So I have it up on this camera. Oh, my hair is all not doing what I wanted it today. It felt all weird. I have a weird gap. But there's so we're supposed to win in like 30 minutes, but now they've made the last like I don't know 1 million illuminate super powerful. So now the victory is going to take 12 hours to get to now. So
Well,
these motherfuckers are waking up in Stockholm right now going,
la-
I got to keep the code.
last night it said we had to defend Super Earth for 2 days, so I'd imagine that it's gonna take about that long
Yeah.
for this event to
The
finish.
Chinese Helldivers kick so much ass they have to send out messages now. They have to tweak the game. Ugh, that's funny.
It did not get to wait. How did the president die if they haven't gotten to Prosperity City?
Oh no, they have. After last night it was up.
Oh.
Hold on, I have the game up right now. So if we go to Super Earth, yeah. How the fuck they have like over nearly 50% of the city? I couldn't fucking tell you.
Yeah, they hadn't touched it last night.
No, they did. They were there, but it barely had started.
No, because we couldn't go to it.
Yeah, we could.
No, we couldn't.
Yeah, we could. It was right.
No, we couldn't go to it, or else I would have gone to it.
No, you know what happened? You got off last night, and I went to go fuck around in the bathroom to change my hair, and then it popped up. It happened like at fucking 1.
He went to screw around in the bathroom to change his hair.
Oh no, I did. I've been fucking around with my hair like this whole week, bro. I've been trying to get it down. I was just bored. I went to piss, and I was like, how do I do my hair? Because you'll see, I accidentally kind of fucked up because I have this weird like little middle part right here that I accidentally did, but I've been fucking around with it since last night and stuff. But yeah, no, it popped up last night, but it's barely changed. I think it was at 50. We've lost like 9%, but it's GG's. These motherfuckers can't do anything. It's GG's. But then it also begs the question when they're gonna add all the. Of course, I've seen the leaks because they show up on my fucking YouTube shorts, and I'm forced to watch them and go, "Oh, leak!" But there were still more enemy types for them, so they're gonna do something more with them. Who knows? We might end up securing Super Earth, but then they're just still like right at our doorstep, and they update them a little bit further. I doubt it though. I think everybody's tired of the Illuminate. I do want to fight anything else but them.
I've literally only fought them since they've been added.
Yeah, I have 200 kills, 2,000, not 2,000, 20,000 Illumina kills. I want to kill something else. Not bugs though. I do want to fight. I want to fight robots again. I like when they shoot back. It gives me a sense of like.
Yeah, the bugs don't give PTSD like the other ones do.
They really don't.
And that's a shame.
Don't.
I want PTSD in my war games.
In my war game, I want to know. I want to know, man.
I want to know.
But no, I keep always coming back to Helldivers. I think it really is one of the best games out right now, just because of what it offers for everybody. It's just really, really fucking nice. The game's gonna last like forever. Like there's no way it's just gonna end up like disappearing into the void, because it's like if they can produce an event like every year and then it lasts a few weeks, it'll last forever because we technically really haven't had a Terminid thing yet. We haven't really had an automaton thing yet. So like in the future, we'll get major events with both of them. And like when you look at it, look how close they are in terms of the map, because I have it on my screen. And you'll end up realizing it's like, yeah, it's bound to happen. And there's a whole western part of the game that's not being used. Of course, maybe you could just say it's 3 factions and the Illuminate will have forces out here. But you know, if the game's gonna last, oh my god, is that 1 trillion bullets fired? Holy shit.
Yeah, that's fine.
We will eventually end up I think we'll get another one. I think it's kind of almost unexpected, but I love this game way too fucking much. I love fucking playing it. I love going in the missions. I love how I actually can. It's weird. I don't think I've ever had a game, maybe other than Destiny, where I could role play my character.
Yeah,
I like it. I love role playing.
This and I think Red Dead Online are the only times that I actually like fully immersed into the story that the world is trying to tell and inserted myself into that world.
It's definitely pretty fucking dope. I love everything about
so
the game. Just
good.
fucking works. It's a
yeah.
game.
I gotta talk about it. Just last night when we were playing, when I was running towards one of the objectives, and there's a group of citizens getting mauled by the zombies or by the voteless, and I jetpack onto the roof of a building and just shoot all the voteless and save the people. And it was like something straight out of the movie where the citizens like looked up and just saw my shadow with the cape flowing, and then they go, "It's the Helldivers!"
The game just fucking works, man.
No,
It really it's awesome. I've had moments like that too, where like I see a bunch of civilians like running around on Super Earth, like they're like, "Oh my god!" And then all of a sudden I'm fucking there. Depending on what I'm running, it's just like I'm suppressing firing the Illuminate, or I have like my incendiary shotgun and I'm just wiping out a whole field of voteless. It's just like it's shit like that, and almost the make pretend of it that just gets really good. And I also have to give like a comment out too of like the whole community thing. Like I don't go to Reddit, but I go to the Helldivers Reddit a hell of a lot just to see what people are doing and saying. And it is genuinely very positive. Of course, you know, we complain about the bug divers, which today it really does seem like it's actually not bug divers. It's just people farming super credits.
Yeah, they're also a problem.
Yeah, but I don't really count them because they're just random bodies, which I don't get, because why are you farming for that? Like at this current point in time, it kind of feels weird. Because apparently Fort Worth was one of the objectives, and then there was a weird split in the math where it's like 14k of them were just not on Fort Worth, because that was one of the bug objectives. I think that showed up early today, and there's just 14 just bug divers just not really doing anything. So it's just like, what the fuck are we doing?
What are you? Traitors. That's what they are. They are traitors to democracy.
It is definitely pretty weird.
Yeah.
But I'm so immersed right now. I will take a break from the game.
Well, once this event's over, well, Mario Kart's coming out, so that's where I'm headed.
I hope you have fun with the Switch 2 and Mario Kart. I'm kind of fearful for that thing.
What's there to fear? It's like,
oh, just like in general, I don't know. I've always,
console.
I think, yeah, I don't know. It's just like as I've gotten older and the whole PC versus the consoles things, I just kind of go like, I don't know, maybe it's just my age or just me just maybe playing Helldivers a lot. It's just like I could get the same experience on an Xbox and Xbox and PlayStation on a PC. Switch is a little bit different, but it's just like
Nintendo has exclusives. That's really all it is Nintendo has exclusives.
That's basically it. It's just, I don't know. It's not to do the whole thing of, oh, the original Switch was better because it has numbers, but I just feel like without Smash Bros, man, I don't think I'll ever get the Switch 2. Unless for Nat.
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Sakurai makes another Smash game, I will buy a Switch too, like I did with the original Switch.
Honestly, I think they should just do Smash Ultimate again, but just keep adding more.
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason not to at this point.
Other than just developers just being like, no, I'm tired. I don't want to do it anymore. I'm tired.
But that's easier than making an entirely new game.
Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. Did you know that recently I opened a Blender for the first time for just making some homebrew like Space Marine stuff?
No,
I immediately realized, oh, so that's why games are so hard to make. Because I opened it, right?
Understand it now.
I was like, how do I move the skeleton around? And I went, oh my fucking god, it is a process to move the skeleton around. So I immediately went, oh, so that's why all my ideas of what if I just did a simple color change? It's like, oh, this takes time, and then you have to fucking buff it out if it doesn't have any glitches. So I can't blame Sakurai for like not being able to give more to Smash Bros and stuff.
No, it's not even that. It's just like if he's done with it, he's done with it. But if they're gonna continue, then
yeah. But I think it's for all developers, like the whole legal thing. In specific with Sakurai, with the whole legal stuff, trying to get with Disney and all of them. It's just like I understand why it just seems so taxing or draining to make a game like Smash Bros. It just seems just. Ugh.
The copyright and legality have to be some of the most obnoxious things to go around when you're doing it like genuinely as a developer to do a crossover game like Smash Brothers. And then stuff like Fortnite, they just make it look easy.
You know why they make it look easy? I can tell you why. Because they just throw money at it.
It's just money. That's all it is. And it's just, I think that just is dumb.
Yeah.
I think money ruins things.
Oh no, it definitely does. Like Helldivers has had one with Killzone, and it was okay. It wasn't crazy, but they haven't really done anything past that. But it's just like for overall, and then it makes it worse, right? Because you have the legality stuff you have to go through before you like greenlight everything. Because remember, with every model you make, you have to also like with Helldivers, right? You have to copyright them. So it's not just, hey, I'm making new enemies in the game. It's no, I'm making new enemies for the game. I have to conceptualize them and make a 3D model for them, animate them, color them, legalize them so no one else steals it past it or puts them in their other games. Then I have to debug it, and then I have to put it into the game, and all the bugs I didn't find. We're like at 9 steps.
Yeah. Making games are hard.
It's ridiculously hard. So like whenever I hear people complain about something, I go, I just can't. But this brings me back to Helldivers, right? Because here's the thing. The role playing is so crazy. All the stupid shit that happens in the game, I can make up a logical reason for it.
Yeah.
Hold on. You're on this screen. I have to move you every time I look over. So like the DSSL, which is just fucking killing all of us civilians and Helldivers alike. My in-canon reason is they're just not caring. They're just shooting anything that moves.
I think that would make sense in universe as to why that's happening. Like there has to be like they can see life forms on the cameras and they're just like, we got the money.
It's funny every time. And last night what did you get rolled 3 times in a row or something?
By our own DSS 3 times in a row.
God, man. And not only is the game so good at bringing people together, we got Chinese and American like people just loving it. They're just like, yeah, man, we should partner up. And then they had a bitch fit today because they thought we'd overtake it, but they put a cap on it for lore reasons. So that ended up happening.
For the lore.
The lore
axe.
the Lorax. You know, one of my Twitter friends has never seen the Lorax, and his wife made him. It's like, I've
Good.
never watched it. Like, that's crazy.
Good on his wife.
Yes, I love. I have to rewatch some of those movies.
How bad can I be?
The fact that that man was a Tumblr pretty boy was fucking wild to me. That was a thing.
Was not even part of that knowledge group until
I just said it right
downloaded
now.
Twitter.
Yeah, it's crazy. But other than that, like, other than gaming wise, it's good to be a gamer right now.
It's good to
And
game.
Cole has never put on deodorant. That's fucking funny since he was 14.
Well, that checks out.
Nurgle's greatest champion. Oh God, may I hope one day I want karma to hit him, bro. Is that a bad thing? I know I shouldn't wish bad things upon people, but just right one time, just like, what if your stink is so bad you suffocate from it?
Like,
That'd be awesome.
that I think body odor and poor hygiene is something that life doesn't punish enough.
I guess technically it does, but like, we're not in the wild anymore. If you actually like stink, an animal would be able to find you, right?
Yeah.
But like, we don't live like that anymore. So we have the luxury of being stinky. The only thing like people would be annoyed at is just because you smell, right?
But see,
So it's just like,
I think societally we should shun people.
we really should, bro. We really should.
Like, if you stink, excommunication until you decide that your pickiness of not bathing is not bigger than the well-being of those around you.
Can I give a thought out that I've been brewing on? Kind of a little bit conspiratorial, but like, it's not crazy. It's just like a observation of society.
Okay.
And it all stems from gaming, right?
Okay.
So give me your peace of mind when I say this. I think a lot of the toxicity problems I see in gaming are a mirror into the American psyche. You follow with me?
Mm-hmm.
I think the reasons why PvP games are so incredibly toxic. Oh,
I'm locked in. I'm listening.
I think are so crazy, or at least so toxic, is just because of real life stuff. This is something I've been thinking about for like a while now. It's just like, why act that way at all, right?
Uh-huh.
In a PvP game, I know it gets competitive, but like, there's a certain level where it gets too much, you know? Like, am I crazy for thinking of that? Because then I look at something like Helldivers, and like, it shows that people want to be engaged with each other, but then there's other aspects where it's just like, why is it so needlessly angry?
I think it's just the nature of some people is to just be toxic and angry all the time. Like, I don't know why some people are like that. It's just some people become like that, and it doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense to anybody, not even to the person who is being angry about stuff. But they still do, and they find reasons to justify their behavior, even though it is to everybody else unjustifiable.
Yeah, it's weird. I think I originally noticed this. Wow, when was it? It was a while ago. You know where it comes from? This is what I want to tell you. It came from the whole marathon thing. Again and again and again. I know Bungie has fucked up a whole bunch of times, but it just seems so like needlessly negative at some point, where some people would complain, and it's like, what are we complaining about? Are we just angry at something else, and we're just venting into these games? I don't
I
know.
guess, but I mean, like at the same time, it's the same thing that with any sort of activity or hobby that garners a fan base. Because even sports, like sports fans, can just be unnecessarily toxic for no reason.
And I don't get that. I have always wondered why my brother and my dad get so caught up in it. I'm like,
But
what's going
and
on
like
here?
arguably, sports is worse because
Mhm.
in those scenarios, typically you find you or a fan base finds one player to hate and just
Mhm.
absolutely just dog on that person. Just want the worst for their life. And it's like this is a person though. You are purposely targeting a
Mhm.
human being.
And like I don't even think it's like a camera thing where you can't disassociate
Hmm.
from real life because it's always kind of happened. Like it happened back
Yeah.
in Rome. It's happened in other major sporting events everywhere. It happened in the Olympics, of like the OG Olympics, not like the modern ones. So it's
Even
like
then,
it's weird. It's so I don't know. It just makes me ponder. It's been making me ponder for a while. Is it like is it the actual content that we're consuming
like it
just
it's
inherently negative, or are
it's
we negative looking
almost
back at it?
as if modernized civilized humans want to find something to hate. Like they just have like some sort of inert desire to be negative towards something.
So okay, okay. I like where we're going with this. So I'm gonna spin this back onto you. Is that nature or is that nurture?
Probably nurture at that point.
Really? I'm gonna flip it on this. Going back to the Helldivers thing,
Mm,
I think it's actually nature. I think at least at some primal level, it's almost like we need to hate on something. But
mm,
we've become so dominant at basically everything. Once humans started throwing suns at each other, what are we really afraid of? You know?
mm.
And I think going into the whole, I haven't read these books, right? But getting into Warhammer, this is why I like fiction. I haven't read this book yet, but I really want to with Lionel in it. Um, I I really do think once we go into space, I guess maybe there's also a little bit of Stellaris in here. I really do think all humans have the mindset of God made us. God made us in His image, not Christian God, but like the general idea, like we are the superior life.
Mm.
So going back into my Stellaris comment, we have a natural buff and a civilization tag of being xenophobic. I really
But
do think that.
I wouldn't. This is where I'd argue against that, is
Mhm.
because naturally, as infants, most kids don't have that in them to be like, I hate this thing, other than like petty like taste forms. But like to get to that point where it's like almost tribal hate to the point
Mhm.
where you want to like go to war against something, that
Mhm.
in itself is taught. Like
I
racism is
think.
taught. You
Oh
don't
yeah, no, no,
naturally become racist. You
no.
are taught to hate
So
because
I think.
you can learn the opposite, which means that it can't be nature because then naturally you would always have something to fill that
So
void of hate.
so how, this is how I see it, right? So I think it's a mixture of both. I think on a primal level, it's necessarily needed for against humans and against animals.
Mm,
However, just like how the human body hasn't properly adapted to the brain and what it's been able to do over the last 100,000 years, our emotions haven't caught up with it yet. So at a certain level, we are like that. That pettiness, it is formed for a reason. They have purposes, like, right, you can argue like for the whole thing of why would you want a psychopath in your tribe? Well, you would want them for the frontline defense or attack force,
mhm.
right? So you have the pettiness, you have the hate for a specific reason, but then like anything in life, too much of it and it pops out. It goes haywire. So I don't think humans are inherently racist, but over time having no competition and just having all these resources and the only thing that humans can conflict with being ourselves, that's where it's born. That's where it stems from. So
Mhm.
it's not full on. I don't think humans are full on xenophobic, but we're just so big for our bubble that we just start fighting in ourselves. And I kind of realized that with Helldivers and how the community acts and kind of the lore of that universe and Warhammer. I don't know. I've kind of gained a little bit of insight on the fiction level to go, I think we're not all dicks, but we're almost not forced to be, but we can end up becoming that is how I want to phrase that.
Mhm.
I don't know. This has been on my mind for like a few weeks now. It's just like I don't think we're dicks. I just think we're bored, which is weird. Like on a
Maybe it's boredom,
primal level. On a
but it's
primal level.
but that's where but I'd still argue that it's not nature though,
Mhm,
because like you look at other species of animals, like the humpback whale
mhm,
hates orcas. Absolutely will just dog on orcas to make sure
mhm,
that they don't get to eat. And that's not
mhm,
like a natural thing. Like throughout history, they weren't always like that. But it's just over time, as a species, they learned that humpbacks kill their babies, or not humpback. They learned orcas kill their babies. So the
mhm,
humpbacks started to say, man, we hate orcas. We're just
mhm,
going to make sure that to inconvenience them as much as possible so they stay away from us. And that was just taught over generations to the
mhm.
point that now that's just a thing that they do is they
Mhm.
just dog on orcas. And same
So
with orcas and other species.
so
It's
this is how I would phrase that, right? Because you're looking at a herbivore versus a predator, and there
mm,
is, I guess, some scientific data to argue that how predators think versus how prey thinks is vastly different. Because
mm,
with prey, that makes sense. That has to be taught. Was like that's out of out of survival. But with what I would think what predators would do, and I would have to look more into it, is like with them, it's like they have to kill. It's
mm,
it's required of them to kill. But then to kill for a purpose, that's way more complex. That right there is borderline like half science, half philosophy at that point. You'd actually have to do a lot of academic study to argue for that. Because I think you're right. With prey, with humpbacks, because I have read that too, that makes sense. That has to be taught. But
mm,
I think it would be different for a predator. And I would ultimately say it would even get more complex with an omnivore, like with a
mm.
bear or something. So I think it's this is out of our realm of scope to answer at that point because that's just fucking that's a lot of science.
But
That's a lot of
I think it's the same application though, is people people in themselves are omnivores, so
Mhm,
they could fall into either category. But like um spiders, like the fear of spiders. Spiders aren't inherently dangerous to our knowledge now,
mhm,
but like there are the ones that can kill you if they bite you. So
mhm,
over time, we just learned as a species that that is a thing that can kill you,
mhm,
but that's not through like naturally we're not afraid of spiders, but
mhm.
just we have learned over time that that is something that can be feared.
So here's another way to look at it, or like how to look at it deeper. Is anything truly nature then? Because if you think
I
about it, if it's all being learned at one point, can you say anything is nature?
I think nature is what comes down to like the very core of survival. Like
Mhm,
the idea to want to stay alive is nature, but
mhm.
how you go about staying alive is nurture.
Okay, okay. I like
Because
that.
like our natural inclination is we need to eat.
Mm-hmm.
How are we going to get to eat? Well, we can do it by any means necessary, but we have learned over time that the best way to get food is to farm the food.
Mm.
Because like if we didn't have that nurture, we'd still be catching food the same way we always have.
Yeah.
But now we have such a development in getting that food that it's now propelled our survival, and we are now capable of producing more food, which makes us able to produce more humans, which at the end of the day is where the nature is our nature is to survive and reproduce, which is what we're doing at an extremely insane rate currently.
And we might have even more. Looking back at like a few podcasts ago, we accidentally miscalculated how many people there are.
We might have severely miscalculated.
So I guess we're being like fucking Aristotle and Socrates right now, fucking being like, the sky is blue. But why?
But maybe not.
Could you make the argument, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I haven't took a philosophy class in a while to say that the only actual natural thing in the world is just to eat, sleep, and fuck. Could you just say that and everything else is just based off of that? That's honestly, the core basis.
I think so, because nature, I think, would be something that's applied to all aspects of life. But nurture is something that is applied to species, like individual species. Because like there's multiple species of like birds that all basically do the same thing, but their species, they all have like the same way of, they fly, they peck and eat, they lay eggs, sit on the eggs, or they lay eggs and those eggs have to develop. But some birds of different species figure out different ways to go about that, like building different kinds of nests depending on their environment, or like the kookaburra who lays their eggs in other birds' nests to have the other birds take care of their babies.
Like that one was crazy.
Like there's no natural reason for a bird to do that, but they have just learned over time that is the best way for their species to thrive, or that their species have found a lot of success in doing that.
It's okay. I think I've answered in the past where I think racism comes from, at least on a nurture level. I really just think it was just other apes and it just formed out of that, just like conquering kind of style on it. Which you could argue maybe the nurture of just the human species.
I wouldn't even say that though.
What would you say? Now I'm fucking lost with you.
Because I think the racism is a byproduct of just pride of feeling superior to another person. Okay. Because if we all looked exactly the same, people would still find ways to prove themselves superior to another person. Like, I've been saying this, but through evolution, or just how the world works now, is at some point, everyone's basically going to be, like, genetically, or not genetically, but, like, physically similar. Like, there's not going to be, like, races, because everybody's going to look pretty much the same at some point in the future, because everybody will have interbred and mixed, and there will be no like pure races anymore.
You could argue that now.
Well, there still are like the individual, I
guess like a completely mixed person.
Like every person at some point in time is going to be completely mixed, to the point where it's like there is no races. But at that point, people are still going to find ways to prove themselves superior. Like like with the current climate of politics in America, it's not about race, it's about how much money you have.
And it's so fucking stupid.
Like, statistics say we are basically all the same, other than the fact that some of us have more money than others. Like that's basically what the US at its core is, and they've just found a way to make it so we don't realize that by dividing us by races.
Everybody's a slave in Rome.
Pretty
However
much.
the quote goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's one way to look at it. I personally look at it as there's probably a reason for it. There's just it's just I wouldn't say human nature because I don't think it is. It's just human nurture. Something down the line, I guess in multiple races, because it's not just a white person thing. It happens
it's
everywhere.
not every race, every individual will in some way, shape, or form find a way to prove themselves or to say that they're superior to another person. Whether they do it maliciously or not is different, but like the maliciousness is where we get like class divides and racial tensions because people try to say that being white is better than being anything else or vice versa, which is just naturally not true.
Oh yeah, no, that I agree with 100%. It's just it's a very weird thing. When will we ever get to the answer of it? I don't exactly
Probably
know.
not, honestly, because like I said, at some point everybody's gonna look pretty much racially the same, and there's still gonna be people who try to prove themselves better than others. Like, for some reason, like that's just like I'm guessing, like somewhere down the line that's just like a learnt trait that there has to be a top dog in a society when in reality there really doesn't have to be. But somewhere down the line, there's like one person decided, I'm the leader, I'm in charge. And that like completely steam or snowballed into what we are at now. Because like the question would be whoever the first leader was is what qualifies them as the leader? What traits make them the most fit to lead society?
Clearly, he was terrible because look where we are now.
Could be terrible or could have had good intentions. We don't know. But what we do know is that leader, whatever traits they had, were then applied to anybody else who was going to be a leader. So if you had any of the traits that original leader had, that would make you already fit for the running. And then from there, each leader would then probably get like
progressively worse.
Progressively like slimmed down to what like power should look like, to the point where like you're like it's just that hunger for power just is constantly being clawed at.
So let me throw this at you, right? Going with your future idea, because I look at the past, I guess you look at the future here in the scenario. Do you think eventually at one point, right, humans have interbred with each other so much and there's not really like Indians or Chinese or any of these other options, right? Do you think racism will just evolve into classism at that point? Like it's just whoever owns the most.
Technically, it already has.
I was gonna also argue. Do you think that's just it now? Because it really does feel like nobody, at least on the mid to poor scale,
on the education level, if you are actually educated and like have the comprehension, this brain,
the smarts, the details,
the use of your brain. If you can actually use your brain for both logistics and empathetically, chances are you don't care what anybody looks like. Everybody's equal in your eyes. Yeah. But then there's those dumb idiots who are still like, yeah, there's a superior race. And it's like, that's just stupid. You're just holding back humanity with ideas like that.
I don't know how the whole superior race thing. I guess maybe to flip on the topic, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have never understood, right? Because like, what makes you superior?
That's just it. Is they just created some sort of like mental image of what a superior person should look like, when in reality, like the superior person could look like any one of us. It's like what is internally like making them
like,
function is what makes like a person technically superior.
Yeah, because like as a kid, this is how I knew immediately. Of course, I do have the sixth sense of getting sketched out by people, but as like a kid, I kind of knew that like I couldn't be a racist because I've said a few things. Of course, I listen to rap. I say the line. It happens.
It happens.
It happens. I get a little bit too crazy with 21 Savage, but like, would I ever say that to a person? No, because it doesn't make any sense. There's nothing about me, at least on a level like this. Oh, he's getting up. He's getting up. Oh, he's wearing the poncho now. It's poncho. Oh, it's just a sweater. No, is it a poncho? Oh no, it's a blanket.
Okay, continue your thought. I just had to do this real quick because my camera was freaking out. This usually helps.
So there you go. So I never could claim superiority of another person. It just doesn't make any fucking sense.
Logically makes no sense.
Because I look at sports and I go, that black guy just run a fucking 40-yard dash in like 5 seconds. What the fuck? Who? What Chinese man? What Indian man? What British man can say they are the superior race when I just saw, I don't know, any good wide receiver in the NFL just fucking do that? That's insane.
And like
that's crazy.
At the same time too, it's like anybody of any race can be physically impressive. Same thing with like mentally. You can any person of any race can be mentally impressive. Like that's just the way the world works. Is anybody can do anything.
Yeah, and then like
the only thing that separates us is our circumstances.
That's really it, and that's just back into the whole like nature thing. That's just the environment.
Yeah,
it's just what brings you up.
Like
it's kind of nuts,
and that's what makes like that. I think it was that going back again that JonTron clip where he's talking about like the statistics.
He had a baby.
Did he?
He had a baby.
Wow.
You know what my first comment was? I was like, "Oh my god, the kid's gonna be racist too."
No,
that was my fucking first comment. I saw it yesterday, and that's what I didn't think I said it out loud, but I went, "God damn it,
JonTron, listen, man, don't make your baby racist." But no,
my other comment too was, he got laid.
Yeah, he had a wife for the longest time.
I know. I was like, what the fuck?
But like I was saying though, there's like that argument that he made that it's like the statistics show that people of certain races are more likely to be criminals and stuff. And it's like, yeah, because our government literally systematically puts them in those circumstances that you don't have the options anymore. It's like if you put any person,
class doesn't fix everybody.
If you put any person of any race into dire circumstances, of course they're going to do whatever it takes to survive, because that's where the nature kicks in. Human nature is to survive. So you're going to do that by any means necessary.
And you could argue too, maybe that's the problem. It's the whole, you have to do it by any means necessary that causes
All right,
the conflict.
Hold on, gang. We're going to take a quick break. I got to take this call.
Okay. Hello, everybody.
No,
now this is the Alex podcast. Caleb, zoom in on me in post. I'm going to go on a little mini rant. I think hot dogs are ass. Straight up. I do not like a hot dog, but a hot dog is different than a bratwurst. I'll fuck up a bratwurst because it's not made of random meats, right? But I think hot dogs, dog water, absolute ass. I don't find the interest in in them at all. They look weird. They don't taste right. Not a very, Alex core thing. Alex does not like hot dogs, right? Also, I can take off my thing and fuck with my hair. It's just it's not a very interesting food, right? It really isn't. But you know what is an Alex core thing? I'll tell you. Cheese. I love cheese. I think cheese might be the single greatest human invention, aside from bread. I think bread is also very important, but I do think cheese is kind of the shit because right you get so much calcium from it and a whole bunch of other nutrients that it has to be one of the most goated foods like ever, point blank. What would be my top five? Top five foods for humans like ever. Potato got to be number one. That shit was crack for like the human species. Potatoes. And then I would go bread or just wheat. What wheat? No, bread. I want to go bread. Bread. And I go cheese. Or do I just say calcium or milk? Do I say milk and then broadly maybe milk? I think I'm going to treat milk as a whole like subcategory of things. Like it's cheese, it's regular milk, and then like all the corresponding things that come from it. So I'll go milk. And then I would go chicken. Eggs. No, eggs. Eggs before chicken. So eggs would be another one because they have a bunch of protein in them. What do I do for number five? Number five is hard. Because basic food is a little bit. Oh, would I go fish? Would I say that's the top five? I'd go fish. Fish for five. So fish, eggs, cheese, bread, potatoes. Like that's the shit, I would say. Like in terms of food. Like that's the top five. Honestly. Maybe rice is a good one. Rice is a good one too. But would I put it in the top five? Would I go rice over fish? No, couldn't be. What's my logic in that one? No, I'm gonna go fish over rice because I think you can get. There's more health benefits to fish than rice. Has to be, right? Oh, so I can turn on my Spotify. Right, yeah, I'd go fish on that one. Yeah, that'd be my top five. I don't know what the fuck this motherfucker went, bro.
All right, sorry, gang, I'm back. Had work stuff going on. Alex,
I commentated my top five foods of all time for humans. You're gonna have to see it in post.
All right, sounds good. I guess where were we at on the talk of the race stuff?
Where were we?
We're talking about disenfranchised people.
Yeah. Classism is the basis for racism.
Yes.
Right? I think that was something like that.
Something like that. We completely forgot is basically the summary of where we're at right now.
Okay, hold on. I'll switch it up.
Okay.
In terms of food, what would you rather choose, rice or fish?
Rice or fish?
Yeah, I was having a real time, like a real struggle for my number five. So I was like either between rice or fish.
Well, that's kind of hard because technically one is more of like basically you kind of need one to have the other. Because like to pair it like that is off-putting because rice technically is the more important food. Like you need that grain to fill you up and have that on your plate. But like the fish technically is like a luxury good.
Mhm.
Like to have the meat like that is luxury.
Okay.
But like that luxury is still very important. So I'd say like a fish and rice meal should make it on the list, like what I had in
Mhm.
Japan, that um mackerel with rice. Like it was so simple, but it was so good that I every day I wish I could be eating that.
Do you have flashbacks to Japan? Just
I
be like,
do. I'm gonna pull up the picture of it right now because it was just so good. It was literally so tasty. And it was just simple. Just a simple dish that did so much. Where is it? There it is.
I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I'm waiting.
I'll send it to Discord.
Boop, boop,
Here we go.
boop, boop. Hold on. Let
It
me
was like
look. Let me look.
$6.
That's $6. That's crazy.
It's so good.
That's fucking. That's fucking insane. All that for $6
All that
is
a fillet of horse mackerel or fillet of mackerel, a decent sized bowl of rice, and in the bottom right, that's a bunch of beef and miso soup.
Mm. Oh, that low key looks so bomb though.
It was so good. It was so good.
I'm actually so fucking hungry right now, bro.
I am too. That peanut butter sandwich was all I ate today.
I had just eggs and toast this morning, and I've just been waiting. I'm just like, fuck.
But
I want food.
if you want a summary of this video as we begin to wind down, basically what you need to know is every culture has something to provide. And as humans, especially in the modern era, we should be more open to learning and experiencing different cultures, as that will just add on to our own experience and we will create new cultures from that as we move into the future.
And then you behead the millionaires.
And
Or the
then
millionaires. Millionaires are fine. You know what? Here's how my classism goes. If you're a millionaire, that's fine. Multi-millionaire, okay, interesting. Triple digit millionaire, okay. That's a
Just trying to
bit.
get up there.
Millionaire, you're dead. You're dying. Get out of here.
To be
You
fair
did
though,
some scummy shit.
we did nerf them in our last episode.
We did. I hope it takes in effect soon. I hope God reads our patch notes and goes,
God,
yeah,
God needs to look at those
good. There's some
patch
good
notes
stuff
and
right
add them. Like literally, I don't think we did anything that is too impossible. Mosquito bites not itching and not giving you disease. I don't think that's a hard request.
Yeah, that one I want. That's a must-have right here.
Like, think about all the lives that would be just improved by that alone.
Yeah, it's genuinely gonna be. It would be so good just to have mosquitoes off the board, or at least
Yeah.
as an annoyance.
As a potential way to die. I think that's like big, because they're vital to the ecosystem. But like, man, do we need the disease part? Do we really need that?
Oh, last thing before we end the pod, right? Going back to the whole like maybe the basic nature of everything is like that's the only nature part, like that core, but everything else is learned. What the fuck did mosquitoes do to learn that they should just be assholes? Tell me that. What's the logic behind that? Because that just seems I want to be.
Bugs don't make sense. Like mosquitoes and flies specifically don't make sense, because you think their innate way to survive would be to stay out of the way of anything that can kill them, which is basically everything. So like you think in specific flies, since they specifically feed off of like basically waste,
Mhm.
that they would stay out of the way of people's faces,
Mhm.
but they just persist to be like, and then we kill them. Like, that's a detriment to their survival, and they still do it.
They are a very funky species.
Like, to be near humans is a detriment to their survival, yet they still persist to be in the same space as humans. Because they don't repopulate once they're inside of a person's house. They just die.
My brother has joined the podcast. Andrew, would you rather eat rice or fish? Top 5 foods of all time, rice or fish?
What kind of rice?
Most basic ass rice.
Like white rice?
Probably.
Fish, then.
Andrew goes fish, if you didn't hear that.
All right. Andrew doesn't understand basic human survival.
Well, you want to know the whole list? I guess I'll tell you now. I went potato, bread, and then I said milk, but the milk was in brackets because I was like, it's also cheese and every other product under that
So
category.
dairy.
Thank you. I was looking for the word. You can see it in my face. I was like, what the fuck? I'm looking for a word here. So dairy, and then I went, what was another one? Fuck. What was the other one? Oh my god, Caleb Post. Put it in front of my face. Fuck, what was the other one? Yeah. But then there was the other two, and I was on the last one. I was like, I can't choose between rice or fish.
If we're just talking like based on importance to human survival, then it's rice. If we're talking like experience, your list might need a little bit of work.
I don't even think that. I'm a very basic guy. I actually really like all those foods. Now,
Like-
would those be in the same category? No. In the same order? No. It would be definitely fish at one.
Technically, those aren't really foods, though. That's like ingredients.
Everything's an ingredient.
But like a food would be like a baked potato, or like the way you prepare the potato. That is like the food. If you're talking in terms of like eating experience, but like in terms of like foods, as in like what has been the most basic to human survival, then technically you couldn't really say bread, but you could say grains and wheat, because that turns into bread or other products that we eat that have contributed to our survival.
So you're telling me the classic Italian diet of a sub could count at the end game of it, looking at just foods?
A sub?
I don't know. I'm just fucking with you. I really want a sub right now. Can you tell I'm hungry?
That'd be pretty good. Are you talking New York Italians or Italians from Italy?
You know what? I'm gonna be real with you. I don't fuck with real Italians. I only fuck with Italian Americans. I want to be real with you.
The Italian Americans, yeah, they love the pizza and they love the sub sandwiches. You get anything like that, and we're good to go.
I fuck with Italian Americans, man. Actual Italians, nah.
For actual Italians, they're just so, I hate to say it, but they're just so pompous about the way things have to be prepared, and it's like, come on, guys. You don't have to do it the same way every time. There's not a correct way to do something with everything. You don't have to be offended by the way somebody decides to prepare their pasta.
I'm gonna cut the noodles. I'm gonna cut the noodles. I'm gonna do it.
I'm gonna cut them. I just don't.
No,
I just don't think that's worth being upset about.
Unless you want more noodles, I guess thinner. Not thinner. Just short noodles.
But is that really worth getting angry about?
People get angry over skin color, Caleb. So I don't really know.
We're just going in a full loop now. We're back
loop
at square one.
Humans are a funky little guys, little doodads.
Little fools. Yeah. I guess that's it for this week's episode.
That was the racism. It's in the room with us.
The racism's in the room with us.
It's in the room.
Coming next week, me and Alex are old.
Oh, I guess it. When's your birthday? The 31st or the 30th? I always forget.
Tomorrow.
It's okay. So I was right. I was like, it's the 30th, but I'm just making sure.
So yeah,
Yeah,
by
next.
the time
Yeah.
by the time
Oh.
this releases, my second digit in my age will have increased.
God, to be 26, to be 23.
Oh
Bro.
gosh, I went up 4 years in one day.
They had to buff it. They had to buff
They
it.
buffed it. I got the oh gosh.
Or would that be a nerf? It'd be a nerf. It would be a nerf. They
Yeah.
nerfed it.
Coming next episode, we'll both be
23.
23.
Well, no, I won't be 23 if we're recording on a Thursday.
Well,
My
technically
birthday's not-
recording, then yes. But technically, we're both still 22 at the time of recording. Blah blah blah. But by the time it releases, blah blah
Oh
blah.
yeah, I will be 23. Okay, yeah, I was about to say. why
But
are you
anyway,
looking
there's
ahead?
more important things than both of our birthdays, as there's a new console coming out next week.
Wow, let's look back at what our lives have truly. Fuck that. We're talking about Mario Kart.
Let's
I haven't
talk
even
about
played it.
Mario Kart. Anyway, that's probably what we're gonna do next week. But anyway, we'll see what happens, as time is a fickle one.
She's an ass, but you know what?
Yeah.
We gotta go with her.
All right, that's it. We'll see you guys next week. Peace out.
Deuces.